Hello, United We Fan Plus. I'm Mark, and with me is my co-host, the exuberant Bryan. What up, Bryan?
Hey everyone.
I think I used exuberant properly. Oh, that's fine. Thank you all for joining us live on United We Fan Plus, partnered up with This DisLife Podcast family, who's coming up on an anniversary. So big anniversary to them. On our last episode of United We Fan Plus, we talked about attractions that we would love to see be made into movies, kind of to tie in with the Jungle Cruise movie starring The Rock. Welcome to The Rock. I always have to go Sean Connery on it. And Emily Blunt. Oh, Emily Blunt. Anyways, comes out this Friday. So check out that episode. And for all of our fans of United We Fan, the podcast, recently we did an episode on Ted Lasso, and we hope you believed with us. So check that one out. Season 2 just started, and so that I wouldn't get the look of shame or a yellow card from Bryan, I checked it out today. And Bryan, I still believe in Ted Lasso.
It would have gone straight red. It wouldn't have been just a yellow. It would have been like double yellow send off. Like,
wow.
You got to watch that show as soon as it's available. I know it's a different experience for you. I watched season 1 weekly as it came out. I know you binge season 1, so it's going to be waiting week to week is just brutal.
Yeah, man, it really was. I almost, just so I felt like an addict, just so I can get a fix. I almost went back and watched season 1 right afterwards, but then I was like, wait a minute, no, I have a show to do. Darn it, Ted, I'll be back. So, but yeah. We brought up, man, Ted Lasso, so good. Please, everyone, watch it. It will make you cry. It will make you laugh. It will give you so many quotes to use in life. It will motivate you. Bryan, it just does everything for you, like a show should. I think probably the last show that impacted me this much was Schitt's Creek, maybe. So yeah.
Not Disney Plus, unfortunately.
I know. Yeah, you're right. It's on Apple, but going back to Disney. Yeah. So Disney Plus, we brought up the Jungle Cruise movie with The Rock, comes out Friday. Bryan, will you be doing the paid Disney Plus experience, or are you going to go in the theaters?
I think I'm going to go in the theaters real quick. I want to call out my dad in the comments. My family's all in Colorado, so they're all in Colorado watching me. So hello to my children. I think I'll probably go to the theater. I've reactivated my A-list, so going to the theaters, I mean, if I'm going to use it to go watch Space Jam: A New Legacy, I might as well use it to go and see Jungle Cruise. I do not believe this is going to be a Premier Access purchase for me unless I go see it and it turns out my kids will really like it, and I don't anticipate them enjoying it too much.
Yeah, Mark, I appreciate your pour me some more rosé. I think it's going to be a fun experience in the Dolby Theater, which I am addicted to. So, and I went and saw Black Widow 3D premiere night, and then I just recently saw it in Dolby. So if you get a chance and you feel comfortable, go see Black Widow. It is worth it. It's just as good the second go around. So, but yeah.
Can I get up on my soapbox for a minute?
Oh, do you need a help? Like, boost. Here you go. Go ahead.
Feeling hot.
Everybody gets so mad at Disney, and I joined This DisLife last Monday to talk about everybody getting mad at Disney for Premier Access and Black Widow, how Premier Access is what caused it to drop in its second weekend. It made $80 million domestically in its first weekend, and it dropped 68% into the next weekend. I learned after doing more research since I joined This DisLife that Fast 9, F9, premiered to $70 million on its opening weekend, and it's not on Premier Access or streaming anywhere. And in its second weekend, it dropped 67%. So stop blaming Disney for killing the theater industry when Fast and Furious 9 had the exact same percentage of drop from first weekend to second weekend, and Premier Access has nothing to do with it. Thank you so much.
I don't think that's a hot take. I think that's a intelligent, very proven fact. I know some people brought up that pirating made it happen on Disney Premier Access, which out of nowhere people are using that phrase for some reason with only Black Widow and nothing before it, not Cruella or anything. I think it's just people need to realize we're still kind of going back. Things are not back to the way they were. So like these things are going to take some more time to grow back. So
Yeah, and I think this if we're going to call COVID he who remains, I think the Delta variant, the Kang variant is causing a bit of a challenge there too. So hopefully everything can remain open and remain strong.
Yeah. So everyone just be careful and do the best you can to, help everyone out. So, well, mentioned Jungle Cruise. I know they had a big thing out in Disneyland for that. Sad that it couldn't happen here, but I get it. Brian, did you watch anything good in July on Disney Plus? I checked out Secret Society of Second Born Royals. God, what a mouthful. And it kind of, if you're a fan of, oh my gosh, I forgot the name of it. Disenchanted. There we go. No, wait,
Descendants is what you're thinking.
Descendants. Thank you. Everyone's going to rip me at home. Descendants. Then I think it's a slight step up as taking themselves a little more seriously than those movies. I was kind of hoping for more Sky High kind of level of fun, but if you get a chance, check it out. It's a cute story.
Sky high level of fun. I think you're the first person to put that into a full complete sentence with that meaning behind it.
Wait a minute. Are you saying Sky High isn't fun?
I'm saying it's not Kurt Russell's strongest work.
Wow. Okay. Well, that might be a movie that has to come out tonight in the courtroom. So anyways, and then I also watched The Secret Benedict. Dun, dun. Thanks, Law and Order. Secret Benedict Society. It's still ongoing. If you like the Lemony Snicket series, then you're really going to dig this one. It's so much fun. Thank you, everybody at home, for saying you like Sky High and reminding Brian that he is guilty of a bad opinion.
I'm used to that. Having a bad opinion. I have not checked out this. What is it? The Society of Second Born.
Yeah.
I haven't checked that one out. What's the other one?
Secret Benedict Society.
Yeah, I haven't checked either of those ones out yet. I've been very much watching Black Widow multiple times, talking about that Premier Access. I do love that opportunity. Shang-Chi is getting a 45-day theatrical exclusivity. I hope Disney just puts their money where their mouth is and says, be careful what you wish for, and goes back on that. And goes Premier Access with it just for fun, just to rub it in people's faces. But I watched a lot of Loki. And if you liked Loki, check out Marvel Studios Assembled on the making of that series. It's amazing how much behind the scenes footage they have, how big those sets are, and how many people were involved. One, during a pandemic, and two, the fact that they were able to keep everything a secret. They didn't do what Disney Gallery for The Mandalorian did and cut the major cameo at the end. They still have talking about Jonathan Majors in that Marvel Studios Assembled. But Disney's rectifying that as well for The Mandalorian. We're getting that next month on Disney Plus, another episode of Disney Gallery, and what it took to bring Mark Hamill to that show. So that's going to be a lot of fun too.
I'm excited for Mandalorian, and the rumors going around are they're already filming the third season secretly. So I believe it.
I think the Book of Boba Fett's done filming.
Yeah.
As you would expect, it comes out in December.
Patrick, I also adore blue plush alligator Loki. I don't want this to be a hot take, but what I'm going to say, Loki was my least enjoyed of the three Marvel series that we have, but I think it was the second best made of the three series. So is that okay?
Sure. What's the best made?
I think it's WandaVision.
And it's 23 Emmy nominations. I'm very excited about that.
Yep. I think it should win at least one. I hope it doesn't get shut out. I think directing and editing will be strong contenders, as well as supporting actors.
Jumping out of Disney Plus for a minute, Esther says that she liked the Boss Baby Family Business. She said it's really good. It's also on Peacock as well. I've not checked that one out yet. Like I said earlier, my kids are in Colorado. Maybe when they come back, we might have to do that. My kids really like Boss Baby.
Boss Baby is a guilty pleasure. I don't know, maybe if it's just Uncle Mark and me talking, but it's a They're cute movies. So,
Have you
but
checked out Monsters at Work yet?
oh my gosh, can't believe I almost forgot that. I really dig Monsters at Work. The first episode right away had me thinking of, oh my God, we never really thought about how people went to Monsters University to learn how to scare. And now one of our new main characters, that was his like dream, was to be a scarer. And then, oh, hey, we're making jokes now. We're not really doing that thing anymore. So I love the approach they're going with. I'm digging it. I'm feeling it. I mean, we did our ranking of Pixar movies, and we know Monsters Inc. is in my top 3, so I'm excited.
One more thing I want to talk about that's on Disney Plus already. I have not had a chance to check it out. I don't think you have either. So we're welcoming in Mark Valentine from This DisLife Podcast Network. How are you doing, Mark?
Hello, gentlemen. Thank you so much for having me.
There is a show on Disney Plus that I believe has 6 episodes right now, maybe 5 available right now.
I think it's 5 currently.
And it's called Behind the Attractions. So, Mark, what is this show and how good is it?
So Behind the Attraction is executive produced by Dwayne Johnson, the same Dwayne, The Rock Johnson, who is quickly becoming a Disney legend.
It feels weird coming out of your mouth saying Dwayne and not followed by Willie.
Yeah. My co-host, who's also in the chat. So hello, Dwayne. But Dwayne Johnson is the executive producer of the show. And the show is 25 and 30-minute episodes that does exactly as advertised, which it gives a brief history of the attraction itself, talks about some of the fun facts, the lore. It interviews, if they're still with us, the Imagineers that were behind the attraction, some of the original stuff that is there. Some of the Imagineers have passed on from this life. So they very creatively, it's a cool thing. They interview some of their mentees who have taken their inspiration from the Imagineers who put those attractions together. And currently there are 5, I believe there's 5 episodes: the Jungle Cruise, the Haunted Mansion, Star Tours, Tower of Terror, and then Space Mountain.
Does it touch on all the Space Mountains, or just because the one in the poster seems to be the one in France, I believe.
So that's the fun thing about the show, is if there are other iterations of the ride, every single one of the episodes will go through the various iterations. So like Tower of Terror does all of the towers, including the renovation to Mission, which becomes Mission Breakout. That a big part of that episode is hearing from Joe Rohde talking about, what a fascinating story, talking about here he is opening Pandora and then simultaneously being tasked with revamping that ride in such a small window of time. It's just like you get really stressed out for him, hearing him tell the story of how not only is he opening the world of Avatar, but he's also on another coast having to retheme the Tower of Terror at the same time, which is just awesome. But they go and they visit all of the iterations. They talk about some of the cultural things as well. Haunted Mansion was really fascinating because the lore of the Haunted Mansion, in some places, it just wouldn't work, especially in the Asiatic hemisphere, that the ghosts would not connect from a cultural standpoint. So they go into Mystic Manor itself and talk about how Mystic Manor was really installed there to be culturally appropriate. A lot of fun with the French version of the Tower of Terror as well. So it's just, it's such a great series. If you love Disney history, you love the attractions themselves, it's just a must-do show. It very much feels like a very a lighter version of the Imagineering story.
I was gonna say, is it a more focused version of the Imagineering story, taking it attraction by attraction?
It really is, and it's a lot more lighthearted too. There's a lot more humor, and like they don't approach it with this. Imagineering story was very much that. It was a very serious, somewhat heavy-handed biography of Walt and the Disney company.
And more honest than I expected it to be.
Very honest. This show there's a lot of levity in it. And that if there's a really funny soundbite from an Imagineer, like the Haunted Mansion stick was, one of the Imagineers just continually said, like, people like to get scared. So they replayed that soundbite like 10 times over. And they do,
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, so there's a lot of repetition. So like that's the comedy is if something is said in the show and it's a little bit of a hot take, they repeat it 9, 10, 11 times until it becomes really funny. But I would very much recommend this for anyone who's a fan of Disney parks or anyone who's just like really into documentaries. It's more so like what Netflix is doing with some of their lighthearted, the toys that made us. It's very much of that tone and tenor of that style of filmmaking. I recommend it. 2 thumbs up.
Pew.
6 thumbs up, even though I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Ooh.
Thank you so much for jumping in, Mark, and giving us that information.
Thanks, Scott. And thank you again for hosting me on Ted Lasso. If you haven't checked out their episode on United We Fan, the Ted Lasso episode was hot fire. So gold.
Real quick, what's going on in this DisLife land?
So I'm flying solo tomorrow on DisLive, but I think you guys are probably going to come and join me if I'm not mistaken on DisLive because Dwayne's got a baseball tournament. James is busy as well. And then this week we have Erica from Makers of Magic coming on the show to talk about her Disney life, her time as a cast member with the college program, her amazing shop, and just her love and passion at Disney. It was a great episode. It was a great interview.
Yay.
Last episode was pretty good too, if I say so myself.
Yeah, the weirdos are always a good time.
Thank you so much, Mark.
Thanks, guys. See you soon.
What a treasure.
That show sounds awesome. I'm very much looking forward to getting into that. But let's talk about what's coming to Disney Plus next month. In August, we've got, first and foremost, Mrs. Doubtfire is coming to Disney Plus, and I'm very excited about that. I haven't seen Mrs. Doubtfire in a really long time. Marvel Studios Legends is going to come out with multiple episodes on some characters that are going to be showing up in What If, which appears on Wednesday. So these Wednesdays, man, they're sticking around, which is appearing on Wednesday, August 11th. Mark, how excited are you for Marvel Studios What If? It looks amazing.
What if, I'm going to be honest, I was more excited for What If than, now this was before we saw anything. I was more excited for What If before Loki. Whatever. I didn't see anything. I just went based off, man. You know what? I'm just going to leave it at that then. I'm excited for it, for Zombie Captain America, Star-Lord Black Panther, Captain Carter, even Steve Rogers in the Iron Man type suit. I'm excited for it all. I know Marvel is hoping that animated Marvel takes off, and I'm here for it. So I'm excited for it.
Some other things we got coming next month. The poster for What If is incredible all in its own right. We're going to hear Chadwick Boseman back as King T'Challa. We have the first 2 Fridays in August. They're going to be the final 2 episodes of The Bad Batch season 1, maybe of the entire series, The Bad Batch. That's what I'm betting. I hope it wraps up stronger than the last couple of weeks have gone. Going back on what's on Disney Plus, have you checked out Turner and Hooch yet? We talked about it last month, but it just premiered this past week.
I have priorities before that. So there's other shows I'm going to watch before it. Yeah, it's on my list. It's in there. Patrick brought up Adventures in Babysitting, a very classic one, Chris Columbus movie. Love it. And then Mrs. Doubtfire, another Chris Columbus movie. Mrs. Doubtfire is funny. I know there's a rumored rated R version of it out there, which I don't think will ever see the light of day. And for all those theater fans out there, I've heard very mixed reviews on Mrs. Doubtfire, the musical. So maybe just stick with the Robin Williams movie.
I would go see that, though.
Yeah.
That's praise coming from me, I feel like.
There's a couple of clips out there where the tap dancing, I'm always impressed by anyone who can tap dance. It's pretty epic in there. So
apparently my kids just watched Turner and Hooch. Apparently they liked it. So I'll be watching it when they get back. The final 2 things I want to talk about coming to Disney Plus in August. One we talked about already, Disney Gallery, The Mandalorian. It's a continuation of the documentary that came out after season 2, really diving into the stuff that didn't make the cut the first time around, talking about Mark Hamill and bringing Luke Skywalker back. And then the final thing is going to be Cruella on Friday, August 27th. which that'll be available to all Disney Plus subscribers. That's when I will get a chance to come around to checking it out.
So good.
But
Thumbs up.
That also leads toward, for those of you that did not get Black Widow on Premier Access, this is our next example of how long it takes to go from Premier Access to regular Disney Plus. So you can look for Black Widow on Premier Access about October 9th, give or take a week.
Sweet. Yeah. Cruella, so good. Can't recommend it enough. It might be my favorite live action-esque adaptation. I don't know what it is yet, still where it's classified. So I enjoyed it.
Cruella, Lion King, just right below that.
Man, Lion King's going to be brought up tonight.
Oh, I thought Lion King might show up in the movie jail. So let's set the expectation for the audience. If you have not listened to United We Fan the podcast, please do so. We have been around way longer than that 1 year of the This DisLife people. I mean, we've been around, at least 6 weeks longer than them. But we did celebrate our 1 year just a couple weeks ago. But we do have an episode in there called The Movie Court, where we defended movies that people say are bad, poorly rated on Rotten Tomatoes. And we tried to ascertain whether or not they had earned such a bad rating or they just didn't get a fair shake. I talked about The Heavyweights, which is on Disney Plus. Heavyweights absolutely should be more highly regarded than it is by certain critics. I still listen to that episode sometimes and think about the Clue movie. I love the Clue movie.
Clue.
Another one you talked about in that episode, Mark, is also on Disney Plus, and that's John Carter.
John Carter. I still like the title John Carter of Mars. I mean, it's a 6.6 on IMDb. So it's better than average. I think any movie that's at least 6 is an entertaining movie. It's just the critics. The critics didn't like it. I think the book is really good. It's what inspired, films like Star Wars. So, yeah, John Carter, I still think does not belong in bad movie jail.
Virginia. Katie's with you. She says she did not like the live action Lion King. So, like I said, setting expectations with you guys, we're going to talk about, and Mark's going to go first. We're going to bring everybody into the bad movie court. So if there is a movie that I don't know what Mark's going to do, whether he's going to play defendant or not. I am going to bring a movie that is highly rated by many people, and I'm going to argue against why I don't enjoy it or articulate it as the best I can. But I don't know what Mark's going to do, but we need your help of if it deserves to be in bad movie jail. And we also want to hear from you what movies either A, you think you really like that nobody else does, or vice versa, you really don't like it and everybody else does. So Mark, go ahead and get us started.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it's really hard for me not to prosecute live action Lion King, but I will not have that be my opening case. That money grabbing, non-creative adaptation, which is up there with Psycho for some of the worst adaptations remake, will not be my first case. Is that a hot take?
Jon Favreau.
You can't handle the truth.
But I can tell you, Brian, that I will not panic with my prosecution of that movie whenever it comes to it. I can tell you that, okay?
Well, I panicked, but then I handled it.
I love that quote. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, the movie I will be defending, now remember, these are all Disney movies. The movie I will be defending is from 1985. Man, what a good year. 1985. Anyways, it's currently sitting at a 6.4 on IMDb. Everyone at home is Googling right now Disney movies of 1985. I am talking about The Black Cauldron, an animated movie that many people consider to be a zit in the Disney animated history that they just want popped. I'm here to tell you it does not.
Why did you phrase it that way?
You're right. Oh man, I've lost my jury already. Oh. Anyways.
Is it on Disney Plus?
It is on Disney Plus.
All right.
So the Black Cauldron, I think, was ahead of its time. I think nowadays, if it would have been made with people really liking the movie Brave, How to Train Your Dragon, Onward, those fantasy darker movies, I think Mark is the Disney pimple popper. Oh man, I should get that on a shirt. I think nowadays it would have been great. Honestly, when I watch it, I think of movies like Secret of Nim or Dark Crystal, the Jim Henson movie, and I think Black Cauldron, maybe not. Of course, I would watch a Disney Plus live action movie, but I think it would be better as after watching the first episode of He-Man, I wouldn't mind a up-to-date animated series.
He-Man good? I haven't watched it yet.
So good.
Is it? Awesome.
Yeah. Bear McQuarrie does the score for it. Check out if you're a movie score fan. Of course, I got to shout that out. But maybe an updated action animated version of it. Live action, I think, would be fine, but it breaks my heart that the Dark Crystal series on Netflix didn't take off because that was a beautiful series. I think if you could do Black Cauldron with Jim Henson puppetry, I think it would be amazing. But the story was just too ahead of its time. It was too dark. And I mean, even watching it now, I go, man, this is up there with The Return to Oz. It's kind of like Ryan Reynolds says, "You're so dark. Are you sure you're not from the DC universe?" Black Cauldron, I get it. You're not going to go home, sit by the computer with the kids and maybe watch it, but it's such a good fantasy movie. I'm glad to see it's a 6.4. I personally would give it, man, I feel like this is so stupid to say. I'd give it a 6.5. Ooh, point higher. But whatever. I just hold it higher. I know the animators were upset because edits were made after scenes were animated. They were trimmed, which is something you don't do in a hand-drawn animated movie. So the history of it's pretty great. Shout out to Fidel and Jason if you're watching. They're the ones who showed it to me the first time. But I beg to you, ladies, gentlemen, everyone in the jury at home, please go watch Black Cauldron, Disney Plus. It is good animated movies. If you like How to Train Your Dragon, you like Onward, you like Brave, you'll enjoy it.
I'm trying to follow Katie. Katie says that it's an underrated movie, and then the next thing Katie said was it's before its time. It was okay. It was really dark. I give it a 5. So,
Katie, thank you.
It is super, super dark.
Yes.
It is Disney still trying to find their ways, just a few years away from the goal.
Be cool.
The animation.
Yeah.
It is frightening. I haven't seen it in years. My kid not seen it.
Listen to this. Listen to this slogan. Here we go. Hidden by darkness, guarded by witches, discovered by a boy, stolen by a king. Whoever owns it will rule the world or destroy it. The Black Cauldron.
You read that? Like every single person in the cast of that show, and I feel like every single one of their names is Nigel.
Well, wait, what about, 7 years in the making. In the celebrated Disney tradition comes our 25th animated motion picture, Black Cauldron.
Also a Nigel.
Nigel.
What? It took 7 years to make that movie?
Look, man, this was hand-drawn.
I know, but I feel like other hand-drawn movies like Aladdin or Little Mermaid or...
I mean, it was also very heavily edited. Yeah. It went through a hell.
I am not prepared to make a ruling on the Black Cauldron because it has been so long. I guess this is the danger of not knowing what movie you were going to talk about.
Danger zone.
Watch it, but let us know in the comments if you think that Black Cauldron deserves to stay in.
You have Leonard Nimoy as the opening narrator. So good. So good.
You're missing it. Live long and prosper, Leonard. Okay, I am going to go. I've got 2 movies, one that I want to bring to the court and one that I want to defend. Which one should I go first with?
I want you to get some people fired up. I want you to prosecute a movie.
I call to the stand Tiana and Naveen of Princess and the Frog.
Oh my God.
Understand this movie. It has nothing to do with Splash Mountain.
Yes, it
has
does.
absolutely nothing to do with the re-theme of Splash Mountain. I do not get the Princess and the Frog. I don't understand it. I don't get it. So I need you to make a case for me. Being from New Orleans, I would assume you at least have a fond memory of this movie.
I enjoy it. The only thing, man, there's one part being from New Orleans I didn't quite get. She puts like honey on the beignets. I don't know that one.
Like a sopapilla?
Is that what it was?
It's a beignet, but like a sopapilla at Casa Bonita.
Oh, Brian, you lost us a fan.
Who?
Frankie.
Oh man.
Like, I mean, I will admit,
come back on Talk Friends.
Frankie doesn't like it when I say that Tiana is an overrated princess. I'm just kidding. I just do that to poke the bear, everyone at home.
I'm not poking the bear. I don't like this movie.
Princess and the Frog is a good movie. I know some people have said it's one of those movies where the soundtrack is the best part and is what makes it a good movie. I don't think it's that case.
I'm sorry, Esther. She says it's one of her favorites.
I mean, it came out at a good time where Tangled overshadowed it. But I like it. Here's the thing. I want to say you're wrong. I can see maybe why people won't have it high on their list. I think the villain, Dr. Facilier. Oh, wow. Look at Mark. Same line here. He is one of Disney's better villains. I'll go that far.
That voodoo stuff freaks me out. That's part of it.
Man, the animation on I've Got Friends on the Other Side, that was a beautiful scene.
Was it? It was beautifully animated. I'll agree there, but I wouldn't use the term beautiful would not be a single thing that comes into my mind.
That is a great animated scene with the different colors.
That's better.
Oh my God. Tiana, I like that it slightly pokes fun a little bit before Elsa did it, where the woman doesn't need the man to get what her goals are. It's Disney finally kind of getting out of that flow. And
this is the danger of us not telling each other what we were going to do, because I feel like you'd have been able to formulate something.
No. It's more so like I understand why it's not high on people's lists. I get it. It's not the strongest Disney movie. It's not top 10 animated movies, but it's not bottom 10 either.
It's no Home on the Range.
Wow. I mean, and I'm not seeing too many people at home arguing with you. Like,
I've upset a few. Mark brings up a good question, and I want to discuss this.
Yeah.
Outside of Flynn Rider and Rapunzel, name a better Disney couple.
See, I don't even think that Naveen and Tiana are that strong of a couple.
I don't either.
Their
story doesn't seem to more for me. It's more about Tiana and overcoming everything to be who she wants to be. I don't know. Naveen annoys me, and I mean that's kind of the point of his character. Flynn Rider and Rapunzel, Mark brought up, much better couple. Kristoff and Anna, much better couple. Those are just recent examples.
Is this a hot take? I think Naveen is rebooting his life, and he thinks Tiana. I don't think there's I never felt I couldn't feel the love tonight between them, between Naveen and Tiana. So I don't even think they're the strongest. Man, oh man, that'd be a fun hot topic. Weak Disney couples.
Frankie says, I think Princess and the Frog is the best example of classic Disney meets modern times. It's great to have dreams and wish upon stars, but a little hard work goes a long way.
I just love the album. I think it's definitely one of Disney's like strongest albums as a whole. I love it. Catch You Down in New Orleans, love that one. The evening, oh man, when Tiana starts off, when the evening. Anyways, yeah. Was that audible? I don't know. Whatever. So. Yeah, I know. I think it's a really good movie. I don't think it deserves to be in jail. So, yeah.
Esther, let's go with this one. The next defendant in the courtroom is the live action Alice in Wonderland.
Thank God we're not talking about the second one. That one deserves to be in bad movie jail.
I don't care for the first one much either.
It's a 6.4 on IMDb.
The original, or like the first one?
Yep.
Not through the Looking Glass. That was the second one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not prepared to I'm not prepared to discuss that one, but I would love to hear. So you like the first one then?
The second one's a 6.2. I gave it a 5. I'd prosecute the heck out of that one. This one,
that's the same rating that Katie gave the Black Cauldron.
Katie's like, I agree with you, Mark, but it is also a 5. Katie, we love you so much. Check out her show. I enjoyed so much the horror movie episode.
Popcorn.
Still such a good name. Helena Bonham Carter, another celebrity crush of mine. I thought she was fun as the Red Queen. It's Tim Burton when, man, he fell in love with CGI for a good while there, over CGIing. Alice in Wonderland, I still think it's a fun take on it. I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's I think it's a solid movie. I give it a 6.
Fair enough. My dad says careful with the singing or Frankie's going to leave again. I hope Frankie's still here. Frankie, please let us know if you're still out there. Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Let us know in the comments what movies that you think belong in bad movie jail or vice versa.
Brian, is it my time to bring up another one, or do you want to roll with your other one?
Go ahead.
Next up for me is going to be a movie that a lot of people claim, Anne Hathaway, she was funny in it. I know a lot of people had a problem with her in Alice in Wonderland. My next movie comes from 2010, should have been Oscar nominated for visual effects. It was not. Should have been Oscar nominated for score for Daft Punk. It was not. I'm talking about a movie that they made a hit ride out of, and a new hit ride will be coming to Magic Kingdom, Tron Legacy. I love the intro with the Tron Castle. I think it's amazing.
I don't think Mark understands the concept of this. He said, if anyone throws Tron in jail, I'm breaking the computer. But Mark, he's arguing for Tron being a good film. Stick with us.
Yeah. It's a 6.8 on IMDb. I gave it a 7. It's a case of a movie score being better than the film, but the film is good. I love that. If you have Spotify or whatever streaming service, listen to Tron Legacy. They even came out with a second edition of it because people love the music so much from Daft Punk. I think it's a good movie. I know they're going to make another one. They're still working on it, which I'm kind of sad because they're not rolling straight from this one. And it improves on the limitations from the first Tron movie. They did the best they could back then with what they had. This one takes it to another level. It is a movie that if you could have seen it on the big screen, do it. It's beautiful. The sound effects, the life cycle chase. And yes, Frankie, I agree. The original Tron, you may need to watch it a couple of times to fully understand it. Jeff Bridges is good in it. Spoiler alert, CGI Jeff Bridges. At times it was advanced technology. They did the best they could. Garrett Hudlin as Sam Flynn, he's good stuff. Olivia Wilde, who directed the film Booksmart, highly recommended. Check it out. She's also going to be directing.
Yeah, I was going to say she's directing the Spider-Woman movie.
She's going places. I thought she was really good in it. The movie also is just perfect for those Hot Topic fans, if you like that store. Michael Sheen is even fun of it. Always like him. But yeah, Tron Legacy, I don't believe should be in jail. IMDb fans want it out of jail, but critics didn't have fun with it, and it breaks my heart.
Olivia Wilde, I trust most of her judgment, but she did break it off with Ted Lasso.
Oh, we don't know why. Poor Jason.
Yeah, I mean Jason Sudeikis, of course. Yeah. To me, they're one and the same now at this point.
Yes.
Tron, I have not seen in a long time. Daft Punk doesn't necessarily do it for me, just in a normal listening circumstances. But like in that movie, it fits in well, and I like listening to it when I'm watching the film. Yeah. But I never just cruising down the road and turning on Daft Punk. That's not how I am. But
well, they broke up, Brian, so you don't have to worry about it.
They did. That's a bit of a sad day.
I actually love this album for driving too, especially if you put it on at night, going down an interstate with the lights going by. Man, you're feeling the Tron.
Prime Disney couples. Does Daft Punk count? Figured I would ask.
You know what sound effect you need to play right now?
Well, I panicked, but then I handled it.
Okay. I'm going to go, and I don't think this one even deserves to be discussed within Bad Movie Jail and everything that we've got going on. But when we're just talking about underappreciated movies on Disney Plus, something that you probably have forgotten about that you should go back and watch. It is rated, I believe it's a 7.2 on IMDb, so pretty high. And that is The Great Mouse Detective with Basil of Baker Street. And when you talk about movies that are hidden gems on Disney Plus, it crossed my Disney Plus feed the other day, and I watched some of it. Great Mouse Detective. I just wanted to argue for that movie being one of the top 10 animated films on Disney Plus. I love that movie.
It's 7.2 on IMDb, and I'm so happy with that. Not many people talk about it. As a Sherlock fan, I dig it a lot. Ratigan, such a good villain. Ratigan. I love this movie. It's another one that's in the Disney vault that people need to utilize Disney Plus to watch, revisit. I will admit, Little Mark, the baddie character, kind of scared me here and there. I was a little scared when I was little.
The bat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
It's one of the old animated movies. I think it's like literally like 78 minutes long. So it's a real easy watch. It's wonderful. I love it.
It came out a year after, fun IMDb fact, it came out a year after The Black Cauldron. So it was still during that Disney trying to find their voice in the 80s. So, oh wow, Frankie, you haven't watched it? Wow. Frankie, thanks for coming back, but man, you haven't watched it. It's down. So, yeah.
All right. Well, I think I have ended my cases.
Tap, tap, tap. Case ended.
Yeah. I haven't. Quick shout out for everyone out there. A GoFundMe. It's a good charity for a good cause. It's called Growing Up with Harper May. She's a young princess who visits Disney all the times and can really need some loving and support from everybody. She's one of the kindest human beings there is. Check her out on Instagram for GoFundMe. Growing Up with Harper May.
Frankie says we got him back for now. Mark says Dick Tracy is 63% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm telling you, Mark, we need to do a Dick Tracy episode so we can get into that.
It needs a strong defense. I think you guys are talking about doing that for a DisLife podcast. I know.
Yeah.
Katie says, what about The Rescuers? I'm not sure if she wants it to be defended or accused. I like both Rescuers films. Mark, Rescuers or Rescuers Down Under? Which do you like better?
I'm a Down Unders mate.
I am as well.
Yeah.
And Jane shared Harper's on Instagram as well.
Yep. Check her out. She needs the support, and she's one of the sweetest human beings there is. Check out her story, follow her on Instagram. For all you Disney fans out there, it'll melt your heart.
All right.
Yeah. Dick Tracy. Yay. Mark, Dick Tracy, Rocketeer. We got to do it. We got to talk about it. People, let's Make sure you get in there and support us for a Rocketeer Dick Tracy episode. Brian, your dad's into it.
My kids really like Down Under, so he's with them. So he's definitely casting the vote for the kids. Frankie says little known Disney movie needs to be on Disney Plus is Midnight Madness with a young Michael J. Fox. I don't even know that film.
Yeah, man. Although Midnight Madness, that's always going. I thought about talking about Flubber, the Robin Williams movie, but I was going to be prosecuting it.
Really?
Yeah. I went back and I watched it.
I couldn't finish it. I think I agree.
Robin Williams, bless that person, but Flubber, when you go back and watch it, oof. Touchstone episode would be good. But of course, we'd have to start off with Who Framed Roger Rabbit if we do a Touchstone episode.
Oh.
Looks like Katie's ready for Rocketeer.
All right. Well, that was Bad Movie Jail. I think we can probably finish it up.
Dun, dun. Best Robin Williams film, Random Rushmore.
Ooh. Random Rushmore of Robin Williams films. I'm going to go with Mrs. Doubtfire. Definitely not Flubber, like we were just talking about. Mrs. Doubtfire, Good Morning Vietnam, Good Will Hunting, and I like Jack. I'm going to put Jack on there. It's a fun film.
Mrs. Doubtfire, Good Will Hunting, Hook,
Bangarang,
PETA. Check out our Steven Spielberg episode if you want more of that.
And you want how far our podcast has come.
I know. Man, part of me really wants to say
RV.
Part of me really wants to say 9 Months. It's a Hugh Grant movie where Robin Williams is a supporting character. But you know what? I'm going to say Good Morning Vietnam. So, oh man, we forgot Aladdin.
Aladdin's good.
But yeah, Good Will Hunting, Mrs. Doubtfire, Hook, and Good Morning Vietnam.
That one got sprung on us. Did you have a Random Rushmore for me?
I did, but the Robin Williams one is so much better. You know what? I like that one better. We're gonna go with it. Yeah.
Sounds good. Justin's just getting here. Thanks for joining us, Justin. Yeah, my dad says RV. There's the GPS in there is named Lola, and he yells at Lola constantly. So I always say something to Lola, and my kids don't get that reference.
I mean, a guilty pleasure Robin Williams one is Father's Day with him and Billy Crystal. Is it good? No, but
that one in a long time if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, no.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think you're frozen. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I think I did freeze.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. Restart.
All right. Well, that does conclude this episode of United We Fan Plus. Thank you so much for joining us. Mark did officially drop out of the entire stream, so thank you so much for listening to us. James says Robin Williams is Mount Rushmore. That's pretty good. We'd love to put his face on Mount Rushmore. Dead Poet Society gets a good call out as well. But thank you so much for joining us here on United We Fan Plus. We will be back next month at the end of March, or excuse me, at the end of August. Man, where am I at? At the end of August to discuss what's coming to Disney Plus in September. We will be 3 or 4 weeks into Marvel Studios' What If at that point. Tune into Earth's Mightiest Weirdos every Monday for the most part, not tomorrow. But we will be talking all things Disney Plus on Earth's Mightiest Weirdos. Mark, can you hear me?
I'm here. I'm backstage.
You can hear me. Go ahead, Mark. The audience can hear you too.
Wait. Oh, man. Old man Mark right now. Oh, am I back? I don't know if I...
You're not. Oh, there's your face.
There I am. Hi. I know everyone listening at home when we do the podcast version is going to be like, what is happening on live television?
I don't know if this is going to make the podcast version, honestly, but I felt weird trying to wrap up an episode, so I'll let you do your job.
you fans us here on United We Fan Plus. If you enjoyed us, Brian, let's know our fans know how they can stay in touch with everything United We Fan, and in case they want to message the show.
Yeah, find us on Facebook at United We Fan the podcast. We're often in This DisLife Facebook group, as well as, like I said, Earth's Mightiest Weirdos most Monday nights at 8:30. And you can find us on Instagram at UnitedWeFan_podcast.
Yeah, check us out. And, we do 2 episodes of United We Fan a month, so check out our podcast episodes. And then we do United We Fan Plus month, and any local artists have autographs or anything like that. If you ever have a show come like, man, I have some photos or would love to do some artwork, we always love supporting local artists. Thank you, Mark, from This DisLife Podcast. We appreciate you, and happy anniversary coming up as well.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
This DisLife Podcast is brought to you by Enchanting Escapes by Lori. Lori is here to help you plan your next getaway and create memories that will last a lifetime. No matter where you want to go, if that's Disney, Universal, Sandals, or another amazing destination, Lori can help you get there. Leave the details to Lori and enjoy the beauty of your destination without the hassle of the planning. Lori's services are at no additional charge. So head over to Enchanting Escapes by Lori and get a free quote while taking advantage of some of the amazing features of the website. Resort walking tours, blogs, free downloads, and Magic Maker recipe videos to keep the magic alive throughout the year. Mention promo code ThisDisLife for an extra dose of magic and start planning your dream vacation today at www.enchantingescapesbylori.com.